I am not exaggerating when I say the Dallas Cowboys are in shambles. I mean, I'm used to the routine meltdown in the playoffs and us going out sad. As a matter of fact, I think I have at least 3 videos titled "The Dallas Cowboys Went Out Sad," because each and every year they go out in the most embarrassing way possible. But this year it's a little different. This year their season ended in such a horrific fashion that now you're having the Dallas Cowboys' best players going at each other. So before we get to the content, make sure you drop like, subscribe, and turn on our notifications to help the channel grow. Now that we get all that out of the way, break! The Dallas Cowboys wildcard playoff game versus the Green Bay Packers also took place during my best friend's wedding, where I was a groomsman. And as you guys can imagine, when the Dallas Cowboys got obliterated on national TV and their season ended, I had a very difficult time coping with it. It didn't help that all of my friends were ridiculing me on a very special day for my best friend. And the very next day, I was expected to appear on this YouTube channel and give you guys my input on it all. And that was very mentally tasking. Thankfully, as a Dallas Cowboys fan, we have resources to help us with our mental health struggles, which is why today's video is sponsored by BetterHelp. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who is trained to listen and give you helpful, unbiased advice. Starting therapy can be hard. The right therapist for you may not be in your area, and some people find the face-to-face interaction of therapy to be uncomfortable. But with BetterHelp, you can have your therapy sessions as a phone call, a video chat, or even via messaging if you prefer that. Whatever's the most comfortable version of therapy for you. BetterHelp can match you to one of over 30,000 therapists in their network, which gives you access to a wider range of expertise than may be available in your area. To get started, you fill out a questionnaire to help assess your specific needs, and then you'll get matched with your therapist in most cases within 48 hours or less. You'll be able to schedule therapy sessions at a time that's convenient for you. And if the therapist you're first matched with doesn't feel like the right fit, which can be common when starting therapy, you can easily switch to a new therapist at no additional cost without stressing about insurance, who's in your network, or anything like that. If you think you might benefit from therapy, consider, like my dog. If you think you might benefit from therapy, consider BetterHelp. Click the link in the description down below or go to betterhelp.com/microphone. Clicking that link helps support this channel, and it also gets you 10% off of your first month of BetterHelp so you can connect with a therapist and see if it helps you. And thank you, BetterHelp, for sponsoring today's video. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? I can't even describe how embarrassed I am to be a Cowboy fan. I mean, it's been so difficult ever since we lost that wild card game to the Green Bay Packers, the very same night that it was my best friend's wedding, which is why I took so long to get my reaction to you guys, by the way. Let me set the record straight. Everybody thinks I pre-record my reaction and I'm amazing at picking which team wins and loses in the playoffs. It's not that! Although I definitely opened myself up to more criticism next time I get out post-game reaction so quickly, but whatever. Following this embarrassing loss to the Green Bay Packers, we immediately started to see things unravel. Immediately, CeeDee Lamb's mom posts on Facebook, Dak Prescott isn't it, and would also say that her son deserves better, saying that they need to get rid of his. It's guys on that team that want a ring. They work too hard and he doesn't want to win a ring. Which, by the way, yeah, I think we had a complete meltdown in the playoffs. But coming after your son's quarterback that made your son a top 3 QB in nearly every single receiving category. I mean, CD broke a couple of Dallas Cowboys records with Dak Prescott as his quarterback. He's gonna get a huge payday as a result of Dak Prescott being his quarterback. So coming after him after Dak essentially guaranteed CeeDee Lamb a huge payday is very short-sighted and very ridiculous. But I'm sure Dak Prescott is used to it at this point, because that's what happens when you're the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. But in typical Prescott family fashion, Tad Prescott, Dak Prescott's brother, also got involved. There's going to be a lot of family drama, and I think even Skip Bayless makes an appearance in this video. So Tad Prescott would also say, Cowboy fans, why continue to DM me? Trust me, if I could get Dak to leave Dallas, I would. I too want him out of Dallas. The city and organization have been great to he and our family, but done with the drama and the so-called fans. But he loves this team and wants to bring it rings, which I don't understand why you would even say that to begin with. Being the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys comes with its territory, and to be honest, I think Dak Prescott handles it really well. I've gone on record time and time again saying I believe Dak Prescott is good enough to win a Super Bowl for the Dallas Cowboys, but a lot of it depends on the contract that he gets this summer and the pieces that are placed around him, which is why I feel so hopeless as a Cowboy fan, because I don't really know how much more we could improve at this point. But things would get way worse. This is just the appetizer. You see, Micah Parsons' brother saw the amount of clout that Tad Prescott was siphoning as the brother of one of the stars on the Cowboys, and I guess he got a little jealous because Terrence Parsons Jr. got mad at Cowboys fans for criticizing Micah Parsons, with a social media take saying that Micah's critics are clueless and y'all are gonna miss him when he's gone. He's also mad at the Cowboys organization for crimes being done to Micah, and some of these takes are very extreme. He blames the quarterback, he blames Dan Quinn, he says Mike McCarthy should be replaced by Jim Harbaugh or Mike Vrabel, and I can't really hate on Micah Parsons' brother for wanting a brand new head coach, because I really wanted a new head coach, not because Mike McCarthy was really terrible, but you had Bill Belichick available, and I made a whole video on how I'm really sad that the Cowboys were not going to be able to bring in Bill Belichick. But I think the real comical part of this is Micah's reaction to Terrence Parsons, because this sounds like Jerry Jones quite literally put a gun to Micah Parsons' head and had him type this out himself. Any comments made by Terrence Parsons Jr. are his and his alone. As you know, if I have something to say, I'm not afraid to say it. I love my team, my brother's on my team, and the city of Dallas, and I'm more committed than ever to bring a championship to the greatest fan base on earth. I feel like social media ruins some of the mystique of some of these star players, because the way I see Micah Parsons, I really think he had Lawrence Taylor levels of intimidation going for him, but I feel like the fact that he's so outspoken kind of damaged his intimidation a little bit. And no, this is not to tell him to like shut up and play football, but I'm just saying he'd be so much more intimidating if he wasn't constantly kissing the Philadelphia Eagles because, well, he's from Pennsylvania. If he didn't say Dan Quinn is his boy and Dan Quinn might take him with him wherever he goes, I feel like the fact that he's so outspoken kind of ruined a little bit of that mystique, a little bit of how intimidating he could be. And he's one of my favorite players on the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, in my opinion, I think Micah Parsons is the best defensive player in the NFL, just surely from the multitude of ways you can use him. But it's something I talk to with a lot of my Cowboy fan friends, and we all think like, wow,
this guy could have been so much more intimidating if he conducted himself in a particular way on social media.
I think the one thing that Micah Parsons' brother said, and that I kind of agree with, although not this aggressively obviously, is when he said Dak Prescott needs to take $40 million or pack your bags. I've been on the record multiple times of saying that Dak Prescott is the right quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys for the right price. If he becomes the highest paid QB in the NFL, the Cowboys have no chance in the future. But for the right price, man, Dak Prescott could be a quarterback that wins you a Super Bowl, in my opinion. It really depends how much he's going to take in the offseason. I don't think he's going to take $40 million. I hope he doesn't become the highest paid QB. He has a very legitimate argument to be the highest paid QB just based off of his regular season alone, so we'll have to wait and see. But the craziest part of this is the war that Skip Bayless and Micah Parsons have declared on each other. So Skip Bayless went on his show and said quite simply that Micah Parsons is just not that dude.
The players did not vote Micah Parsons onto their all-pro team. They did not, because he did not deserve to be. Micah Parsons is just not that dude. I'm sorry, I admit it.
And anyone that knows Skip Bayless knows what he's doing. This man is a world-class pot stirrer. And this invited Micah Parsons to absolutely decimate Skip Bayless, saying, "You're just a hating MF who mad I ain't want to do your show. Where was all this when you were on my nuts wanting me to come on your show every Tuesday? You lame as Skip, real fake ass Cowboys fan. You see what I mean when I say I think he'd be way more intimidating if he didn't engage with social media so much? I guess I just always liked the LeBron James approach to Skip Bayless. I mean, could you imagine if LeBron James tweeted this to Skip Bayless? Or anytime someone said this about Michael Jordan, they would act in this way? Maybe I'm just old-fashioned. Maybe I just appreciated that type of way of conducting your business. Micah wouldn't be done here. At the very end of it, Micah Parsons seemed very angry at Dallas Cowboy fans, saying y'all are going to fit whatever narrative y'all want about Sunday, and I'll drop my facts soon. Delusion versus reality. I'll be honest, I don't understand the Cowboy fans that criticize Micah to this extent. I mean, yeah, I'm criticizing something that I think is very minor. Social media. It's not the biggest deal in the world. It's not going to make me dislike Micah Parsons or anything like that. The man is one of the most talented players we've ever had on the Dallas Cowboys in Cowboys history, and I fully believe that. I don't really put our loss on one person in particular. I put it on the entire team, collectively. I put it on the game planning. I put it on Dak Prescott for his inability to execute. I put it on Mike McCarthy for not being able to make adjustments. I put it on the defense for allowing that many points despite you being one of the top defenses in the NFL. I think it's very cheap to point the blame finger at one person in particular, especially when these players have done so much for us throughout the season, brought us so much joy throughout the season. At the end of the day, I hope the players also understand it's not easy being a Dallas Cowboys fan, man. We are so ridiculed and we are the laughing stock of the NFL that at this point, I am 100% certain that we lost that game on purpose, because if the Cowboys lose in the wild card to a 7th seed, that's going to be a national headline. It's going to generate a lot of clicks. Do you remember 4 days later when the Cowboys announced that they're retaining Mike McCarthy? It became a national headline. I mean, I feel like at this point we're chasing clicks and clout as opposed to wins. And everyone just makes fun of us. Everyone just ridicules us. So yeah, being a fan of this organization definitely takes a hit on you after a while. Does that mean you should slander the players? Nah, I don't think that's ever the answer. At the end of the day, I've been a Cowboy long enough to remember the Dave Campo era, which was when I unfortunately first started becoming a Dallas Cowboy fan. 3 straight 5-11 seasons cheering on players like Quincy Carter and Roy Williams, and it was not fun. So the fact that we have studs like Micah Parsons, Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, great coaches like Dan Quinn and Mike McCarthy to get behind is something that we should appreciate. And for those that are worried that Micah Parsons is leaving, I don't think he's ever going to be able to leave. This man is going to get franchise tagged or is going to get a huge contract extension from the Cowboys. He's never going to be able to leave Dallas. Financially, he's going to be incentivized to stay in Dallas as well. When you consider the amount of tax benefits there are for playing in Texas, the amount of national exposure he'll get for his brand, because he's obviously trying to get into podcasting, I just don't see him ever leaving Dallas. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about all this, man. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike. I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.